Hi guys, welcome back to Avant Garde versus Legacy eSports. Pretty even match in the first one, a little bit of indecisiveness from both teams, but at the end of the day, Avant Garde managed to pull through. Second game coming up, Biggie, would you like to see any change in the picks and the bans between these teams?
I think just biggest one for me is ban the Scylla. Does a lot of damage. It's obviously that's their strategy right now. I'm sure they have other things, but just take that kind of first pick away from them. If they're willing to first pick it, they obviously prioritize it. So I think starting there.
Alrighty, picks and bans up in just a second. Looks like, from what I can see, Avant Garde have got the first option again, so definitely Legacy need to take away that Scylla in the bounty phase if they don't want Avant to first pick it. Erlang Shen as well was available. Actually, Avant going to be the ones to take away the Scylla.
It surprises me. I guess maybe they prioritize it as that highly that they don't want to play against it. I'm not really sure. This has to be some sort of specific strategy that they have. They must want something else, whether it's the Erlang or a Raijin or something. There has to be some sort of planning to this because it just makes no sense. If you want to first pick it, and I don't think Legacy are big Scylla players. Shred's not a big Scylla player.
Okay. This is actually around the wrong way. Legacy is actually the first year, and they've taken it away from Avant Garde. So they've taken the Scylla away from Legacy. Avant has banned out Jingwei, and Erlang taken away by Avant Garde.
Alright, is this Nightfall's fault?
No, this is actually production's fault. Freya banned away by Legacy eSports. Athena, by Avant Garde. Athena is the first pick for Legacy here.
Alright, okay, that makes a bit more sense then.
Yeah.
I like the first pick of Athena. I think when I first kind of started playing against Weave, he was, you know, a big Athena player, so maybe going back to his roots, just wanting, you know, just kind of maybe throwing Avant off a little bit. You know, they're not expecting the Athena first pick of all things, so it'll be interesting to see. And as in return, the Rama and Amaterasu for Avant.
The armor is just something Chuckle's very comfortable on, did a very nice job of that last game. Something Rob Diggity's played a lot as well. Plus, it has the added bonus of taking it away from HS247. Vamana and Janice now picked up here for Avant Garde. Shred actually did fairly well on that Janice in the last game. A lot of damage output there, some good portals, but just wasn't enough for the team. I do like the Vaman though for only good at solo compared to the Sobek. Just seems something a little bit more of his style. Thor, the final pick here before the break for Avant Garde. They ban out Anher and Raijin, taken away by Avant Garde, by Legacy. I'm getting so confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's a confusing draft, so I'm surprised, you know, the Rama Amaterasu. I get the Amaterasu, it's Chuckle's kind of namesake at the moment, but I don't understand really the Ram pick. The Vamana, I'm guessing he just wants something, you know, that can bully the Amaterasu. It's just all seems a bit off for me, you know, with picks such as Raijin and, you know, Terra on the table.
Sobek taken away by Avant and Ra taken away by Legacy. So I'm thinking what's left for Divine here, what he's played before. There's Kronos and Chang'e left. I don't know if he's played Sol in the mid lane before though. So that could be something to look at. Sylvanas picked up by Avant Garde. I like that. A lot of sustain for them, a good amount of initiation for Gruff, and some lane control as well to help the Ram. Bastet picked for Legacy here, so that's going to be going towards Horizon in the jungle, channeling. He's kind of in a DJ Pernicus. So I suspect we're going to see a lot of split push, and Neath now the final pick for Legacy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Chang'e. The both times that their record-breaking games they've matched the Sylvanas with the Chang'e, so it's definitely a composition they like. And it just, as he locks it in, it just meshes well, you know, with the Thor. It just brings the team comp together.
Alright, so that's going to do it for the picks and bans there. The Chang'e, I actually quite like this one against the Bastet. You know, she gets the immunity on her too, the Moonlight Waltz. So it's going to allow her to immune away from the slow of the cats and also a lot of the damage. Plus, she's just got a lot of sustain herself. It's basically a double healer comp they've got with Avant Garde with the Sylvanas and the Chang'e, which, as we've seen from the SPL group stages, is very difficult to take down.
Yeah, this is a scary team comp the longer the game goes. I mean, Chang'e, Amaterasu only gets stronger. Sylvanas only, he kind of, obviously his heals peak, but you know that doesn't really matter when you have the Chang'e kind of with you. But on top of that, the sustain from Chuckles and the movement speed, that Amaterasu passive kind of matched with the Chang'e's base movement speed is kind of scary if you're being chased down by this team. I would like to see a Heavenly somewhere from Legacy.
Well, iDivine nearly falls down here. The damage from Horizon nearly takes the Chang'e out, but manages to stay alive here. Look at Renegade going in front of the mid wave here. The iDivine's sticking around as well, so obviously unwilling to lose any experience here or try and minimize the loss of experience here, but they're going to sacrifice the mid camps instead.
Yeah, that's, I guess, the down point of Chang'e's kind of weak clear, weak kind of 2v2 early. She can't really contest much. I'd expect them to almost give up these right side mid camps as well.
They're going to try him here, but it looks like Shred and Horizon want to contest here. They do manage to take them away. So Liquid Renegade and iDivine suffered a little bit of an early loss in terms of experience here, but as you mentioned, they're not really playing for this early game. The later this game goes, the more strong they're going to be. Divine actually portaled here, takes a lot of damage from the Unstable Vortex. Horizon doesn't manage to hit him there with any kind of damage, but Divine, low health, low mana, probably going to be forced to back after these back camps.
Yeah, I think he's worried, like you said. They're just, this is their team comp, you know, they've played it, I'm sure, a bunch of times in scrims, and we've seen them perform really well with it in the competitive arena, so they won't be too worried. They know how it works, and they know that the longer the game goes, the stronger they get.
Gruff doesn't manage to land the pull down onto HS, but Gruff and Rob Diggity looking towards his dual lane, certainly having a good time pressuring out HS and Weave. The Sylvanas just pretty much auto wins you the lane here with the amount of wave clear and pressure he's able to put out.
Yeah, we've talked about Avant's comp, but for me, I'm interested to see how Horizon plays this Bastet. Obviously, you said DJ Pernicus, the way he played it was he literally just split pushed with the teleport. So it'll be interesting whether kind of Horizon adapts that same mentality as he looks to gank Chuckles, but gives it up, it looks like.
Free Space and Time was launched there by Shred as well. Not really sure what for, but perhaps just trying to catch Chuckles out. Liquid Renegade's rotated as well. He's up in the sky, looking for someone here. Could be looking for Horizon. He does manage to find the jungler, but he doesn't have enough damage on the line at this point to really do much of anything with that, but does slow down Legacy's push and aggression on this side of the map.
No real kill potential. No, he's still with the boots one. He hadn't had time to back yet. As Gruff with a nice pull, but forces the Athena ult.
That's really good play there from Avant Garde. They force out a global ultimate for virtually nothing. And, you know, if you look at Legacy's ultimates, Shred used his ultimate, Ogre used his ultimate, and Weave used his ultimate all in that last engagement just for the price of Chuckles and Liquid ultimate. And, you know, even then, you could have really avoided the Shred's ultimate entirely and Weave's one as well. So Legacy, the last game we saw them being a little bit hesitant on things. This game, it looks like they're a little bit too trigger happy.
Look, Wolf, those kinds of trades are as well, like, you know, really beneficial for Avant's team comp. You know, as long as they're these really small victories, just to kind of get them through the early game, you know, they'll be more than happy to take those.
Alrighty, 4 minutes of the game, no kills on the board as of yet. Pretty slow one, even in comparison to last game between these two teams. Kind of almost like we're seeing the Fire Giant dance yet again. These teams kind of skirting around each other, neither willing to hard commit to the other one.
A little bit less aggressive, but I mean, there's not. I guess you have the Thor versus the Athena this game, but it was a lot easier for Legacy to play that kind of aggressive early game. You know, with the Ratatoska as opposed to the Bastet last game.
Rob Diggity, actually, I want to take a look at as HS has gone into Transcendence. Rob has gone for an Iqbal here into the boots. You know, we've seen a lot of times with Ram, people that are going for later game builds tend to go for the Devourer's Gauntlets here first to stack up a lot of lifesteal, but Rob's gone for the Iqbal here. And, you know, of course, Iqbal's a great 1v1 item, but it gives him a lot of attack speed, gives him some good penetration as well, so it's a good bridging item for this Ram.
I like the Ishville, and if Land showed us anything today, it was that, you know, this is kind of the build right now, and I think Emil and almost just probably about the rest of the other hunters on Land were just, you know, kind of almost to the point where they were rushing it before Boots building this Ishville. So I'm definitely probably in favourite over the Dev's Glove. Also, it also just, you know, kind of helps him get through. You know, you say their comp is kind of late game, it helps him he can hang with the Neath for a bit longer in the early game, or at all really.
Looks like Legacy are trying to set up for something here on the left-hand side. Even Horizon are in the area. Horizon clearing out a ward behind the Gold Fury. Now they're going to back away from Avant Garde's territory here. Horizon, taking a look at him now, we can see he's already gone for a penetration item after his boots. Probably going to be the Jotun's Wrath, but I expect his build to be Jotun's, Titan's Bane, and then either Crusher or Brawler's Beatstick. Probably Brawler's Beatstick before Crusher, honestly, given the amount of healing that come out from Avant Garde. You might even consider the Brawlers before the Titan's Bane. Look at Renegade taken low. They managed to trap Horizon in there, but he's on the wrong side of the wall, and he walks away. Some poke damage being traded between these two teams, but as we said, Avant's got a sustained composition. They're happy to take these kind of poke trades.
I agree on the Jotuns. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Hydra's even at some stage. I know that maybe it's not the most suited to Bastet's kind of, you usually want it on like, Humbats where you're just attack cancelling all the time. But another point I wanted to ask you was, as Gruff gets engaged on it at left-hand mid-camp.
Wrath of Terror used that, and Gruff actually picks up the first kill there with the tick damage from that. Shred through space of time to finish off the giant tree. Weave using the defender of Olympus, and he's going to be able to get out onto Shred here, but Divine's chasing him down. A wall from Liquid Renegade doesn't catch him up, but Rob Diggity with the snipes does catch out the Athena. Liquid Renegade chasing down Shred now. Unstable Vortex comes through. Shred's going to be able to get away here, but First Blood goes the way of Avant Garde. They also pick up an extra kill in the form of Weave. Retribution comes down, as it usually does for Avant Garde, onto Gruff.
That's just the danger if you're gonna engage on a Sylvanas kind of. There's no real burst on the side of Legacy. Janus isn't gonna burst a Sylvanas. Athena, there's no real damage there. You don't have a Bacchus. You don't have a Scylla or any. So Sylvanas is yeah, they get the pick, but it's gonna take a lot of cooldowns and more importantly a lot of time, allowing Rob managed to rotate all the way over to mid camps, and then the trade works out in Avant's favor. They're in the perfect position right now.
And they also invaded the speed buff of Legacy and taken that one away from her. Oh no, actually no, only Good at Solo managed to stop them on that one. Horizon managed to pick that one up. But they did get a couple of creeps there, so a little bit of experience bonus for them. Looking at the ward control, this game as opposed to last game, it's all very heavily in favor of Legacy, especially around the Gold Fury pit. Gruff just paced himself a Sentry Ward there, but really the main routes around the Gold Fury pit are covered by Legacy. They've also got a couple of wards around the solo lane to spot out any aggression coming through from Liquid Renegade.
I was going to ask you as well, just your opinion on, for me, from Weave, I would have liked to have seen like either a Weakening or, as I said earlier, Heavenly, just to kind of counter this mobility. What's your opinion on the Shell? Because despite using the Shell, correctly on Horizon, he still, dropped fairly quickly.
Just want to point out quickly there, Rob Diggity got to the last tip of his health there before he launched into the sky there to avoid the Bastet cats. With the shell on the Athena, yeah, it's good. Looking at Avant's team composition though, it's not necessary at this stage. I think it probably would better serve them the later this game goes, but at the start, as you said, a Weakening Curse would do wonders against the early Sylvanas heals and the early Chungo heals, which at the moment don't do that much in terms of healing. So with a Weakening Curse, and they do even less, you can actually feel the impact probably a little bit more than you do towards the later stages of the game. And then what was the other relic you mentioned you would have liked him to see him pick up?
I think a Heavenly. I think it's fine not having a Heavenly at this point, but like the level 12, I'd like to see Heavenly.
Yeah, for sure. So my issue then though is where's the Weakening Curse from this team going to come, or where's the anti-heal going to come from this team?
Yeah, that's the question, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Urgo will build into a Weakening.
Oh, Chuckles, he uses the Dazzling Offensive. Only Got Solo, though, is in the big baby form. Chuckles manages to get away. Through space of time comes through. Only Got Solo trying to chase down Chuckles, but he's not going to find him here. Teleports through to the Fire Giant pit now. So 2 ultimates used there for the price of 1. Actually, Liquid Renegade, no, he used this on the left-hand side. Yeah, so 2 ultimates there for 1. And again, these ultimates being traded in favor of Avant Garde.
We haven't seen a Neath ult, we haven't seen kind of. I'd like to see, as Avant looks like they're gonna sneak this Gold Fury maybe, but I think Horizon's onto them.
Hey, but not in time. Avant Garde take it. Weave looking for the taunt, managed to get walled off by Liquid Renegade, and nothing Legacy could do there. Excellent work by Avant Garde. That's the type of play you said in the last game. Legacy, when they have the vision around the Gold Fury, make really aggressive calls like that. Avant Garde just made a Legacy call, basically.
That's the scary thing about Avant right now is, I guess, and what people are failing to understand is people still look at these as like, okay, they were a 4th place team before LAN, but they've all improved individually as players. But the scariest thing for me is the confidence that these guys have. They're not scared to lose. They're trying to win. They're not playing to not lose. If you kind of can follow me there.
Yeah, exactly right. They're playing. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a better way to phrase it, but it's not really it's not really a good way to phrase it. Really,
they win so quickly.
Nice. That's pretty good. 14 minutes, the record, breaking it against Desecrator and Co. Just they did so quickly right there.
Nothing like breaking a record.
Yeah. Alrighty, so 11.5 minutes into the game, very not passive game, but this is kind of the kind of game we'd see out of like a couple of EU teams where, there's fighting and stuff, but people aren't necessarily dropping down. They're both teams respecting each other a lot here and making plays more on objectives rather than necessarily ganking other players.
That's definitely the case. As Chuckles chases his ult out for a goes ult.
The Renegade taking some damage from Weave in the mid lane. Shred as well. He actually hits a raw double tap there onto Shred. Pops the ultimate from Idivine. Gruff chasing in now. He's looking for Shred here. Roots him in place before he can get into the portal. Knocks him up with his ultimate. Wisp coming through as well. This might be enough to get him, and it is through the portal. Shred falls down to Gruff's damage. Weave taunts him in, but he taunts himself into Liquid Renegade's ultimate. Down falls Weave. Horizon's here now looking to deal damage. Only got it solo. Knocks up 2. They're looking for Liquid Renegade, but an excellent pull from Gruff saves him until HS finds him with the ultimate. The Kitty Cats are coming through now. Horizon onto Rob Diggity and jumps away. Only got it solo coming through. There was a weakening curse. You're right. Ogre is the one that picked it up. Rob Diggity forced to Sanctuary and Purification away. HS looking for the kill, but El Chuckles blocks for his team beautifully there. A bit of a fight breaking out between these two teams, but Avant Garde come out on top yet again.
Great peel by Gruff, kind of almost saving Liquid's life there, but the rotations managed to clean him up. And like you were saying, the point where you feel the game feels a bit slow, I think that's perfect for Avant. They're slowly building their lead. But this team composition that Legacy have drafted, they haven't done anything with it. Horizon, I'm sure he can split push late, but he's not playing aggressively, with the Neath ult, with the Athena role. He's not kind of creating any advantages on the map and is just letting Avant kind of make the calls. And that's, the longer the game goes, the bigger and stronger this Amaterasu gets, and the more this Chang'e starts healing, it kind of worries me.
I really like the Wingblade pickup here from Gruff as his first item after boots. Just the amount of... I think everyone on Legacy has slows in their kit. And it's, especially to counter the Bastet Cats and most of their kit as well. So a really smart pickup there from Gruff.
Yeah, on paper it looks like a really greedy build, but the Wingblade's perfect there. Usually you see the boots one into the Wingblade, but he's not going down at all in these fights. He's not being targeted. Not only because they are targeting, but I don't think they have enough burst in this comp, probably for most of the game, until this Janus gets online to kind of burst him at the start of these fights or pick him.
Well, speaking of the Janus, he's forced to ult away there as Gruff blinks in, looking for the kill. Gruff taking some damage now. We might see him fall down. Excellent ultimate there from Idivine through the wall. Stops Weave and Horizon in their tracks, and Gruff now comes back towards the mid lane, heals himself, and with the help of Idivine, they start to heal each other up. And Avant reset here, 5 men in the middle lane. Good route from HS247, but he's silenced by El Chuckles, who takes down a lot of his health. Rob Diggity up in the sky. He's got perfect positioning to snipe here, but a good Sanctuary from HS keeps himself alive till Liquid Renegade picks up with the spin to win. Weave taken low as Rob Diggity just doing so much damage at this point. Is very odd for an early game Ram. Only got it solo, trying to stay alive here. Liquid Renegade gets a double kill. This one onto Weave. Horizon picks up Gruff in the backline with the Bastet, and now he's trying to find a way to get another kill, but Liquid Renegade and Co. hanging around in this mid lane don't give Legacy an opportunity to find another kill.
It should be a tier 1, no ultimates on either side. Gruff eventually going down, but it just took so much to put into Gruff to kind of kill him in the end, and Avant, just this composition, it's starting to come online, and they've, another objective and another small win. Now they're kind of almost 3.5k up. Yeah,
1.8 experience, 3.2 in terms of the gold difference, all in favor of Avant Garde. Shred's doing a lot of work this game. Almost 10,000 damage done this stage of the game. Only got it solo just behind him there, but Shred's been pretty much on the mark with every single one of his abilities.
Yeah, he has. Shred, for me, is kind of... I think Shred is Legacy's all-star play. You know, no matter what role he's played on, he'll have an impact. You know, he's confident. He's got good communication. He's got a good smite brain. I've listened to him, you know, in scrims a few times. I've sat in on Legacy scrims, and he really is a leader. And he's kind of back to his roots now, I guess, in the mid lane. He's married for life days. I guess most of you remember where he was a mid laner, just kind of a random in ranked who could hang with the top
troll.
guys.
Troll. Definitely a troll. Emily 2-star. Biggest troll OCE. Alright, so Gold Fury now being looked at by Avant. They're pressuring Legacy away from that objective. They do have vision on that one. Took one very quickly earlier this game, and now they're looking back towards that objective. Chuckles was on zone duty, now committing a little bit to this objective. Him and Gruff now turn their sights toward the rest of the team. Only got it solo, dashing in here. Athena ultimate comes through. The snipe off the mark, but hits Rob Diggity instead. Two-man knock-up, Gruff taken low, but the sustain's coming through. Divine picks up one, but HS manages to find Gruff in the back there. Only got it solo. Big baby, nowhere for you to go as Avant Garde dealing some damage, but Shred yet again doing so much work against Avant. And despite the sustain that they've got, Legacy are pushing into Avant. Shred picks up another kill, and now Legacy themselves can look at this Gold Fury if they want.
That was perfect, Bogue. You know, he called for the Weevil. He made the play. I was almost gonna say, you know, I don't like the way I see the Chang'e heal or the Sylvanas heal for the Lotus Crown, as Chuckles should be able to stop them doing this gold. There's not much they can do with a level 16 Amaterasu running around. But what I was about to say is, I don't know, maybe they should give this up. Just start split pushing. You know, they have the double global with the Bastet. Maybe that's their way back into this game as they take a fight and kind of turns out in their favor.
The fight turns out in their favor, but it looks like Avant Garde's still going to be able to get the Gold Fury here. HS is through the wall, might be able to pick it up with a Spirit Arrow, but with a Wrath online from Liquid Renegade, it's very doubtful, and it's not the case. HS bursted down there at the end. Avant Garde pick up the Gold Fury and an extra kill for themselves.
That's unfortunate. That's one of those kind of awkward engagements in Smite, is where you win the fight, but you're, as Chuck was looking for more aggression in mid lane.
Yeah, Horizon taken low, the wall's there. Here come the Kitty Cats. Chuckles trying to pick up the kill. Gruff is the one that ends up getting it, and Shred, beautiful Unstable Vortex there, claims the life of Chuckles. Rob Diggity split pushing on the left-hand side, should be able to take down this tier 1 tower, no problem there. So Avant trade out one of their members, but yet again, Horizon falls down. HS fell down around the Gold Fury. Avant are just winning so many of these mini engagements. They've now got themselves a 2,700 experience and 5,000 gold difference. Rob Diggity might get picked though on the left-hand side. Good Sanctuary avoids a lot of the damage there. He's very slowed though, looking to turn around and just deal damage now. Does have lifesteal online with the RC. Up comes the Unstable Vortex. Neathult was used as well. Rob Diggity falls down there to Shred. Ogre split pushing on the right-hand side. As I was saying though, mini engagements, time after time, seem to be won by Avant Garde and are giving them a great lead.
The only thing keeping them in is Shred. You know, he's 3 levels ahead of Divine. He's doing a lot of damage. You know, he's their kind of like their only hope right now.
And Ogre trying to split push on the right hand side, falls to Liquid, trying to commit to the tower there to pick it up. Only one tick away from falling down. The end of the day, Liquid Renegade CC and the minions and the tower damage was enough to put him away. Looking at player damage, you were saying Shred doing so much damage, and you are correct. 16k damage, 4k above his next competitor, which is El Chuckles. So Shred 4-1-2, putting the team on his back, like we saw a little bit last game from certain members on Avant Garde at times.
Horizon looking to sneak this tower, but I think Gruff smelt it out. And maybe we might see a siege here from Avant.
Well, Ardivine's rotating as well, Shred following behind him. As it's here, silenced by El Chuckles. He's actually chunked there pretty significantly. Weaves here, taunts Gruff in. Horizon manages to get himself away. Teleporting in has only got it solo. Ardivine's here as well. Liquid Renegade's backing and Rob Diggity's on the left-hand side of the map. So Avant in a bit of a disadvantaged situation here on this side of the map anyway. Rob Diggity can look to keep pushing the left-hand side, just push minions up and force Legacy to make a decision about where they're going to engage.
They can't really force the engage now. I mean, Liquid had to back. He's slowly rotating. I guess looks like they still want a siege, but with Rob pushing mid as well, he'll have to clear a couple of waves. So I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do here. Maybe an invade, but Ogre secures his own blue fairly easily.
They might be able to find a picker onto Ogre, but actually he manages to dash away under the tower. Minion wave here, so they should be able to siege this tower with Rob Diggity and Liquid Renegade rotating over. Horizon seems to be committing to the split push on the left-hand side. He's got Jotuns and Brawler's Beatstick online already, so he's got a significant amount of penetration. Find the right-hand side, two-man taunt from Weed through space and time, comes through, connects with two members. Ogre finds Gruff. Liquid Renegade should fall down here in just a second. Ogre chasing after him. Great stun there, though, by Rob Diggity, and Liquid Renegade falls down. Weave ultimate coming through, but Rob Diggity picks up Ogre before the Defender of Olympus can land through the unstable Vortex. Hits Idivine, who's very low. El Chuckle's trying to dash away, but he's taunted in and body blocked by Weave. Shred picks up another kill. Horizon split pushing on the left-hand side, and Legacy, everything's coming together for them now. They're going to pick up a tier 1 tower on the right-hand side. They've already got the tier 1 on the left. They should be able to find the tier 2 there as well. And Avant Garde now find themselves in a very dangerous spot.
And this is where Gruff's build kind of will come back to bite him. He didn't really get the best engagement. He got a blink ult, but he got the two people out of the four that he didn't want to ult. And then, they turn on him, realize, okay, we're a Janus, we're a Bastet. 20 minutes into a game with penetration, he's got a breastplate and a Lotus helm, so that's a free kill and a perfect play by Horizon to split push. Maybe he's pushed his luck a bit too hard.
Yeah. Rob actually cancelled his ultimate there because he knew Horizon had to come back towards him and just basic attacked him to death there right at the end. But yeah, Horizon not quite enough penetration online at the moment and took a bad jump away from Rob where Rob was able to roll into him. Right-hand side, we can see Shred running away now as Liquid Renegade, Divine, and Chuckles are chasing himself, and HS down. Threshold used by Shred, trying to portal away from the stun from Chuckles, does manage to do so. Liquid Renegade now looking for HS. In comes Weave though, taunts. No, doesn't taunt actually. He's stunned out by Liquid Renegade, but effectively blocks Avant Garde from chasing down his teammate. Unstable Vortex off the mark there for Shred. Legacy, though, managed to stay alive after pushing down a fair few towers there. Shred, 21k player damage, 5k above El Chuckles.
And this 9k above, what, almost, 9k above, the next highest on his team, which is Ogre and Vamana. So he's kind of their carry at the moment. I'm not really sure whether this is the best fight for them to take, as Weave disappears.
Yeah, Weave absolutely bursted down there. Only got a solo forced into the big baby form. Avant Garde gonna be happy to just take this tower. Horizon split pushing again. He does have cats available, so he might be able to get this Phoenix. He should just clear the wave though, wait for that, and then go for the Phoenix. Instead, he's gonna push his luck with the cats. Avant Garde still engaging on the right-hand side. They find HS247. Shred is able to get away. Horizon committing to this Phoenix. Minions have spawned now, and he's not gonna be able to get this Phoenix on this try, or at least if he does, he's gonna die for it. I expected he backs away from the Phoenix, so Avant Garde get the tier 2 tower. Horizon not able to get the Phoenix. Avant Garde, if someone backs here, they should be able to stop Horizon from doing this Phoenix. Minions are coming in. Horizon needs to get close. Idivine's coming through. Horizon looking for the Phoenix. He does manage to pick it up as the ultimate's off the mark there from Idivine. Divine still chasing down Horizon, but he's probably not going to get him. So it's a Phoenix there for a couple towers. Shred forced to ult away. It looks like Avant Garde want to siege his mid-tier 2 tower, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the Phoenix, but I'm just wondering whether it would have been more ideal for them to defend. They bridged the gap. They were within 1,000 gold. They kind of, one thing that previous fight should have taught them is that, okay, we can kill Gruff like in a heartbeat. That's a free pick. If he's going to engage on us, then all we have to do is play around, him not getting the strong blink ult, because that's how they're playing these team fights. If we can, kind of take him out of the equation early, we can actually win these fights. Instead, he pushes the Phoenix, but they lose, 2 towers for it. So I'm not really sure, how that trade works out now that the deficit's kind of growing again.
As well as that, Avant's Titan's fairly tanky at this point. Still another 2 Phoenixes up and 3 extra towers as well. So they're not going to be particularly worried that much about the Titan falling to fire minions. So they can allow the waves to be pushed up a little bit. You can see Rob and Idivine actually push up the left-hand side lane a little bit. Rob actually looking for the Gold Fury at this point, is he? Yes, he's going to start up the Gold Fury. I like this call from Avant. Last game we saw a lot of dancing around the Fire Giant, and a Gold Fury was just sitting there for about 15 minutes. They get this, they get themselves some more gold, get their builds even further, and look, they force out an ultimate from Shred, if nothing else there, and force a rotation out of Legacy. They can't get the Gold Fury, but that's a huge ultimate down for Legacy.
Yeah, perfect reactions by Robbie. Saw the Janus ult flying at his face and barrel rolled straight out of it.
Never want to get hit by one of those at max range. Can just 100 to 0 you in just a second.
And good taunt by Weave. Divine's low and Liquid. Divine's dead and Liquid's beads are down.
Liquid getting chased by Only Good at Solo. Big BB form being used here. Neath ultimate comes through. Ogre claims the final kill there. Up in the sky goes Rob Diggity. Unstable Vortex doing work for Shred. Rob picks up Horizon actually. Now Only Good at Solo charging through the enemy. Chuckles manages to dash away but is rooted in place by HS. A lot of damage being put out by Legacy here. They might find Chuckles in a second in Dash's weave, but he doesn't manage to find the taunt on to Chuckles. He's actually rooted in place by Gruff. He's going to fall down to the tower here. No, he's one tick away from death. Shred dealing damage to the tower. Same with HS. HS actually fighting Gruff. He picks up Gruff. Ogre dies to the tower. Rob claims the kill though. Mid-tower falls down there. Legacy get it, but they're going to pay with a couple kills. HS might fall down here as well in a second. Shred can deal damage, but it might not be enough to save HS.
No, good decision to turn and fight, but it won't save him.
So again, after that fight, Avant Garde, you know, Legacy get a good fight there, but Avant still managed to somehow turn it mainly towards their favor.
Yeah, I mean, Chuckles is doing well. You know, Chuckles is he's pushing his limits, and he knows his limits. You know, that's the second time where Legacy have got kind of a small win. You know, the Gold Fury fight at first, and now that Siege where Chuckles has his TP up, and he's able, okay, I can't, you know, push. I can't really, you know, be involved in this fight anymore. I'm just going to back and reset, and you know, trade out, just get maybe as little trade out as I can, and then he gets the pick on Neath, and now that opens up the avenue for the Gold Fury here for Avant.
Going to be able to take this one pretty freely here. Space of time is up for Shred, but he doesn't know that this one's being done. They're pushing out the mid-wave here. They're going to start to ask themselves the question now. Where's Avant? What are they doing? Gold Fury falls down. It's going to be a little bit of extra gold in hand for everyone on Avant. Divine looks like he's going to be... He's starting up that right off to Hootie finally. He's gone for the Celestial Legion helm again, just for that raw 90 physical protections, as well as this still gets damage off it as well. Liquor Renegade going up in the sky. Horizon caught between a few members here. Jumps away. Up goes the snipes from Rob Diggity. Horizon jumps back into the damage, but a great portal from Shred keeps him alive. It's not going to be there for Shred though, as Divine picks him up, and now Avant Garde on the attack. Unstable Vortex. Shred, just so much damage being output by that Janus. He's done 31k damage. We're 27 minutes in. Liquid Renegade gets a wall down. Neath ultimate comes through. Liquid Renegade going to fall now to Only Good at Solo in the Colossal Fury. He's forced to run away now. Divine chasing down Ogre. Take a lot of damage. Good ultimate there. Chuckles dashes forward and picks up the kill. Unstable Vortex again from Shred. If only he could be doing those a little bit quicker, because that's the only damage his team has. Horizon is split pushing again. He's got minions there this time to try and push up the Phoenix. Divine is in the area though, and Horizon low health. Really risky play.
Yeah, Gruff narrowly escaping a mid. I'm not sure if he'll get this. That's a bit awkward for Horizon.
He took that. He started taking damage there from the Phoenix, so I think he must have hit Divine with the jump and started tanking Phoenix from there.
I think.
Oh, that's rough.
That's rough, and that's kind of, you know, that's almost like very demoralizing. He's kind of, although he did split push the right tier 2, so he has that, and you know, the gold's fairly even. They didn't really lose much out of that fight there.
Picked up Crusher now, so he does go for split push again. At least he's going to have that online to be dealing more damage to the structures. All of Avant's Phoenixes are exposed. Avant, though, managed to survive their left-hand side Phoenix being down pretty well. You know, no more fire minions left to press up that lane. They managed to not take any Titan damage, and really Legacy didn't... What they got off the back of that was a lot of towers falling down, but it's not nearly as bad as it could have been. You know, usually left-hand side Phoenix goes down, you can look for a Fire Giant play because the other team has to look to keep their advantage on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I'm fine with Horizon split pushing, but the problem is that the two fights that haven't gone in their favor is him and Weave. As you can see, you know, 1 and 12 collectively, they're just getting blown up at the start of these fights. I understand that they're kind of urgent, they need a pick urgently, they're playing into like this almost triple sustain comp, but they just need to be a bit more patient and a bit smarter about how they're approaching their fights and who they're targeting, because Horizon's just getting caught out, and then he's leaving his team to, you know, kind of, he's bailing on his team and going and split pushing, so the comms have to be a bit clearer, you know, are we fighting or are we split pushing?
Left-hand side, HS taken low, double tap from Liquid Renegade, and the ult from Gruff is enough to secure the kill onto the ADC. Horizon in the backline drops the kitty cat down, jumps over the wall through space of time is excellent from Shred, doing damage to Liquid Renegade. Liquid Renegade looking for a target here. Rob Diggity taken low as well. Liquid looking for Horizon, but an excellent talk from Weave, keeps himself alive. Double tap from Liquid Renegade, picks up the kill, but Shred picks him up with his own double tap, that of the Unstable Vortex. Only got it solo, rotating around here, gets the knock up. He's looking for Rob again. Rob, the lifesteal though is keeping him alive at this point. Unstable Vortex lands, Shred shuts down Rob Diggity. Weave two-man taunt now, looking for some damage. Shred shredding through Avant Garde basically here with those Unstable Vortexes. Only got it solo, and Weave need to get away now. As Avant Garde, they have two of their healers left up, so they can continue this siege. I'm just keeping player damage open from now on, because Shred has got 40k player damage.
He's trying his hardest to carry, but people are just falling around him. There's not much he can do. As we see the blink from Sylvanas and the ult from Amaterasu, but he's out safely. Just
41k player damage now, closer to 42 if you round up. 7, 1, and 7. I really like this Bancroft's talent because he's been getting so low in these fights, just giving him so much extra magical power to deal with the rest of Avant Garde. Gruff looking for a pluck there, but not going to find it. Through space of time comes out, looking for a snipe, doesn't land. Chuckles and Gruff being chased away now by Only Got It Solo. Divine is around here. Look, Horizon split pushing again. Might be able to get it with the crush this time. Good wall from Liquid Renegade. Athena ultimate being channeled onto Horizon. Again, though, falls under the Phoenix. Oh.
Yeah, well, I've got to ask again. We saw the Athena ult kind of relatively late, but like, where's the Neath ult?
It's true, it's up from HS.
Yeah, if this is their plan to split push, why aren't they using all the tools in their kits, you know, to allow Horizon to do this?
It's confusing. Essentially, I think they're just kind of saying, all right, Horizon, you just split push, we'll deal with everyone else. And then, you know, don't realize that split push you still need some support with. 1 and 9 is Horizon. You're saying Horizon and Weave combined before were 1 and 12. Now they're 1 and 14. A really rough situation for the jungle and support of Legacy. Fred, though, is keeping them in. It looks like he's going for a Desolation as well. He's got an Enchanted Spear. Weave dashes in now, looking for the Fire Giant, but Avant Garde secure it. Through space of time, an Unstable Vortex uses well. Chuckles picks up Weave. Liquid Renegade picks up Only Good at Solo. And now the team is starting to come apart at the seams for Legacy. Just look at that damage coming through from Shred. Half health everyone on Avant Garde, essentially. HS there, walled, but able to get a good route off. Snipes coming through from Rob Diggity. Sanctuary's burned as well. HS nowhere to run at this point. Spin to win used, and now he falls down. Liquid Renegade on a killing spree. Shred with 47k player damage. Great pull there from Gruff. This might be enough to end the game if they can pick off Shred here. The crit and the Hydra's damage enough there. Sorry, just the crit damage enough from Rob Diggity to pick him up. And now the right-hand side Phoenix falls. And this is going to be game here. Nothing really left to stop Avant Garde. Horizon's the only one there. Liquid Renegade's 12 and 5. When did he get 12 kills? Probably most of them were on Horizon defending that Phoenix. And now the Titan's going to fall down. Horizon falls down as well. GG Avant Garde retain their hold on the first seed and take down Legacy 2-0.
Well, that kind of came out of nowhere. This back and forth game, and you know, Horizon split pushing, we defend the split push. How are we going to win the game? There's just perfect shot calling. Whoever made that call to do fire, that was a great call. And then even more so, it's just evident of how much of like a team Avant is right now, that they all trusted that call. They trusted Liquid to, you know, secure the Fire Giant with the Wrath, and they just get the 2 picks and they win the game off of it.
We're going to now talk to the mid laner of Avant Garde, Divine. So Divine, couple of longer games there from you guys, but in the end you were able to hold it out over Legacy. You know, the first game, that kind of dance around the Fire Giant we talked about a lot. What was kind of the team comms at that time?
It was kind of just, you know, wait, get the items, but we also didn't want to hand Fire Giant to them, you know. We had to keep pressure around Fire Giant whilst also trying to farm more items.
Alrighty, that second game there, a little bit cleaner for you guys. At the start, it was a little bit rough with what Legacy was doing, and they had a lot of split push coming through from Horizon, but you guys seem to handle that fairly well. Did you guys kind of, you know, going into that game, seeing the best stat, did you know kind of how you were going to handle it?
Yeah, I'm fairly experienced with how best the backdoor works, so pretty
yeah,
know how to counter it, I guess.
Any questions for our guest?
Sir, small one quick question. Are you surprised that they let the Scylla through in game 1?
No, I'm not. Just because I only played it against Pandas twice the week before, and it's pretty much brand new to us for the most part. And like Legacy hadn't seen us play with Silly yet, so
That's true.
Alrighty. Any shoutouts before we let you go?
just shout outs to Avant and other sponsors. Not Zach.
Alright, thank you very much, Divine. We are now going to be joined by the mid laner of Legacy and the man who tried to carry but just couldn't quite, Shred. Shred, that second game, you had close to 50k damage by the end.
Yeah. Hey.
Alrighty, so both those games were fairly close. It seems you guys, previously you've, while you lost both of them, you were definitely in both of them, and it seems like the team attitude is changing a little bit. Is this unit becoming closer as you head towards LAN?
I mean, yeah, just like we're getting, like every day we scrim, we're just getting more experience and just like learning more things, which is like improving our playstyle, so it's getting better.
Any questions?
My question is, obviously, you've made a lot of changes and it's not been like the most successful split compared to last season, but what's the difference with this roster? Is it just, I know you're a big communicator and Horizon's a big communicator, is it just the communication line, or is this people more comfortable in the roles they're playing with, Ogre back to solo, you to mid, being a mid player from way back, and Horizon kind of fitting in and doing well in the jungle, just obviously despite this game?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're doing like another roster switch like next week, so
Nice.
yeah, I don't know about that, but I know Horizon's like really enjoying finally being on main roster and like trying to grasp the opportunity of like improving every day and shit.
And what?
And I don't know, I feel like comms have just like slowly progressed, because that was like our problem. Like split 2, everyone was kind of just bad, so like we could just play off natural skill, but now everyone's like kind of improved. Yeah.
So are we finally going to see the Shred support?
I mean, it was an option like 3-4 weeks ago. But,
yeah, can you give us any hints about the new roster change?
Well, I mean, like, people are gonna get soloed, bro.
Alrighty, good to hear.
More roster changes than Nvidia's, dude.
Oh my god. Any shout outs you want to give before you head off?
Just shout out to Legacy for being like super cool.
Awesome, thank you very much, Red. That's going to do it for us tonight. We've got a game tomorrow, Alpha Sydney taking on Royalty, and then that's going to be it for week number 7. Thank you very much from everyone here at Cybergamer. We'll catch you next time.